So I wanted to demo spatchcocking a chicken. I know it's something that probably not everyone is super familiar with. It is actually just a fancy term for removing the spine from a chicken. I talk about this a lot, but there are often things in cooking that are more intimidating when you've never done them before, and then maybe when you see a video or try it yourself, it's actually pretty easy. The purpose of spatchcocking a chicken is A, it cuts down on the roasting time, and B, it just makes for a really pretty presentation. So this might be something fun to do if you're having guests over for dinner, for a holiday, or maybe if you're someone who likes to experiment with cooking and play around. This is just a fun recipe to try out. So what we need, of course, you need your whole chicken. This guy's about 3 pounds. A pair of kitchen shears, and a roasting dish. I use just a baking sheet pan, and then I have some foil put on top, and I curled the edges of the foil up to make a lip, and this is to contain the juices. So while the chicken is roasting, the juices don't spread out thinly over the whole pan, but they stay contained. I can baste the chicken with like a spoon or a basting brush, and the juices stay under the chicken as well and help keep it moist. If you have a glass baking dish or a ceramic baking dish or anything like that, you can most certainly use it. The only thing you want to make sure is that it's big enough to fit the chicken once the spine is removed. The chicken legs sit kind of out to the side of the chicken like this, so you want to make sure the pan is wide enough so that the legs can splay out to the side. If the pan is too small and the legs squish back in next to the chicken, it kind of defeats the purpose of taking the spine out because that'll slow down the cooking time. So that's just my thoughts on that. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're actually going to flip our chicken over on its belly, and you want to have the head, if you will, farthest away from you and the tail closest to you. I like to kind of just put the wings and the legs out to the side, and this just helps make it a little more stable. So now, if you've never done this before or you're a little unfamiliar with chicken anatomy here, let's just take a minute and look at this. So you have your tail and you have your neck. As wide as the tail is and as wide as the neck is, this is obviously the spine. So that's the width of where you're going to be cutting. So just picture that. Now essentially all you need to do is you're going to take your scissors and you're going to start right next to the tail, and you're going to cut straight up. Visually you can picture it while you're going, and you're just going to end right next to the neck at the top. Now you are going to cut through ribs and a couple other bones, so there will be some crunching and you will need to use a little bit of force. So I'm going to demonstrate. Okay, so right next to the tail, I'm going to cut. You're going through cartilage and bones, so some sections will just crunch a little, and then some sections you really do kind of have to squeeze. Like I just went through a bone right there. As you're going, once you have it open a little bit and you started, you can really use the side of the spine to guide you as you're going, and you just keep cutting. So now at the top here is the biggest bone that you have to cut through. Oh, look at that, I went through it already. Not a good example, I guess. Sometimes up here there's like an extra crunch. Sometimes apparently, as I just demonstrated, I guess, it cuts pretty easy. If you make it right through that perfect point where the joint is, it's just cartilage actually, and it'll cut easier. Sometimes if you're not quite at that spot, you'll have to make a tougher cut. Let's see what happens on this other side. Okay, so other side, I actually kind of go like this, just because I'm right-handed, so I'm cutting with my right hand. So again, right next to the tail, make your first cut, and just start following the spine. There we go, okay. So no big crunches at the top of the neck like I had expected. Sometimes when I'm breaking down a chicken, I won't be quite in line, and there's some extra bones on the side here that I might end up crunching through. So Spine, I just put it on the pan and I roast it under the chicken, and then I save all the bones and make bone broth later once I'm done eating the chicken meat. So now our chicken is open, if you can see this. Big cavity. There's some gizzards in there still. You can take them out if you want or just leave them there. So I flip my chicken back over, and now let me show you what I was talking about. When the legs kind of splay out, they kind of go like this. So this is how it's going to look on your roasting pan. Move my equipment here. So if you can see, it kind of sits like this. You could tuck the wings behind the head if you want. He really looks like he's relaxing. So now if you were going to marinate the chicken, you want to rub your marinade all over the top, and I like to rub it all over the bottom too, because down here the chicken thigh meat is exposed. So you want to get a marinade on there to really help impart flavor. So once you've rubbed the marinade all over the chicken, you're just going to take it, plop it on your roasting dish. And that's pretty much it. You're good to go. You can also rub the marinade up under the skin if you wanted to. If you can get your finger up under there, you don't have to. It helps impart flavor to the chicken breast as well. So as you can see, that was pretty quick, right? Maybe not as intimidating as you thought. I hope it was helpful. I just wanted to do something that was maybe a little more interesting, a little fun, a little twist on the normal roasted chicken. Please let me know if you have questions, or let me know if you tried it out and how it went, okay? Bye, everyone.